Video on how to use IrfanView to make themes to submit to FireFox. And right now I'm using a custom theme up here. This is one of mine. So IrfanView probably isn't the ideal program to use, but it's what I use for a viewer. And if you are an IrfanView user, this is how you'd make a theme. I'm not saying this is the best program to use. They suggest several programs if you go onto the page there back on FireFox. Let me go back there again. So here's a button, submit a new theme. And you have to have an account. I already do, of course. And this is the page you use to submit your theme on. Now there's some requirements that are kind of sticky. 3000 by 200 pixels. This is for the top banner. So that's exactly what it has to be, 3000 by 200. There's also a footer that you rarely get to see, but that's 3000 by 100. Now I guess you don't even have to submit a footer because it's so rarely used. But I'll show you that too. So that's all there is to that. Let me go back to IrfanView and show you how I make one of these then. I've already made a few that I haven't submitted yet here. I'm going to make one more in the same theme here. Now, you got to have a little bit on composition. So I've done two already that are autumn treetops. This is going to be the third one, using a different image. I think I'm going to use this image. Now, the first thing is you have to choose an image. I like to use panoramas for the obvious reason we're going to be cutting a ribbon out of this picture. So you need a good high-res picture. You're going to be de-resing it when you go down to this pixel level anyway, but you don't want to be going the other way. You don't want your ratio to be inverted. If I used a standard size picture from a low megapixel camera, I might be inverse as far as not reducing my pixels but actually pulling them out. Anyway, so a bit on composition. I kind of like this middle through here, but if I select the middle in a band, I'm not going to be able to get these leaves in. I'm going to have to try to compromise. But I know from experience, to get that narrow band, it's going to be something like this. And you see, with IrfanView, I just, push my weight onto this corner over here, and then just, whoops, what did I do? I screwed up my rectangle. Okay, well, I'll just keep going anyway. Obviously, going to have a wider strip than that. And I'll just create it anyway, and then I can go and tweak it. And actually, that's about what I want to do right here, I think. Because I'm catching just a little bit of that red. This is about as wide of a strip as I can use. This is out of experience, and you'll see what I mean in a minute. I'd like to catch this down here. That's kind of sweet, but I can't. I gotta compromise if I want to catch the leaves and the nicest part of the trees here. So that's a pretty good compromise, I guess. It's all calling composition. So I'm going to go to Edit, and I'm going to go Cut Area Outside of the Selection. Boom, gone. Now I've got to do it again with Auto Crop Borders. Otherwise I end up with a black part down here. So I want to auto crop that off. You notice it jumped to the center because there's no more black attached to the file. So it just centers the image. And so that's my slice of a panorama I want to use. Now I'm going to go to Image, and I want to go to, where am I? Resize, resample. This is where I've got to be exactly 3,000 pixels wide. And where's my keyboard? By 200. The ratios look pretty good. See, I'm reducing my pixels only a little bit. And I don't know exactly how the DPI works. Sometimes I double it just for yucks. These are such complicated images. Alright, so let's resize, resample. And there we go. And actually it stretched it a little bit. I could have taken a slightly wider piece out of this picture. Interesting. I underestimated. I usually go the other way and end up squishing it a little bit. And it's really a call. So you know what, I'm going to junk this, do it again real quick. Okay, so that part's done. Now I've got to do the footer file, which is kind of optional because it never shows, hardly. I don't know when it would show. But I'll make a footer file. Alright, so I want to reload the whole image all over again. You know, I think I can just, why don't I just try this? That's the original image, I believe. Okay. So now I want to do the same thing over again, but I'm going to cut a lower picture to go for a footer for it. And this is going to be easy. Narrow, it's about like that. Yeah, I can get some of that center piece that I liked. Alright. Call that my footer. Do the same thing over again. Auto crop. Whoops, did it backwards. Oh crap. Yeah. Okay, it's still there. Edit. Oops. I'm bumbling this badly. Bumbling badly. Let's go all over again. Wow, it's doing something freaky now. Huh. I got two boxes going. Oh, geez. Yeah. Left click, get rid of those. Oh, that's too high. Let's do the bottom. What do I want to include? I'll just shrink it down. Okay, that's good. Can only give them a narrow strip. It's only going to be 100 pixels tall. So it's going to be something like this. Actually, I want to include a little bit of that. So I got to bring this one up because this is going to be narrow by def. Okay, that's probably about right. Let's try this. I'm joining on here because it's going out too long. Again, auto crop after you do the main crop. That's pretty nice. Oops, I forgot something, didn't I? Image, resize, resample, 3000. If you get the pixels wrong, you will be rejected. You must be exactly. And this should fit pretty close. Let's see how well I did on estimating the size here. Pretty good. Pretty good. File. Save as. New theme page. And I'd go and I'd put my header in, put my footer in. I can show you how to do that because I'll just use the, I'll use my number 2, which I didn't batch. I'm just batching my 3, but I don't want to make this video too darn long. I've already gone through it 3 times, 4 times, if you could count the footer. So let's do treetops. Autumn, whoops. Treetops 2. Oh god, how did I get the freaking cap like that? I really hate that function. You know, I haven't done treetops 1 yet either, so let's just do autumn treetops. I haven't submitted any of these yet. Alright, so we'll do one. Describe your theme. Okay, well, you would just describe your theme. Do tags like you do on YouTube. I guess I'm going to call this nature. So is it nature or is it scenery? I don't know. I wish I could call it both, but you can't. You know, I'm going to call it scenery. It's probably more appropriate. And so, I don't want to make this video too long. You'd fill these out with some suitable things. I usually say yes here, but then I leave the other two no. Now I would browse and I'd find that same file I just made. In this case I'm going to use number 1 though. I'm in the wrong... where am I here? I'm in the wrong file. There it is now. Oops. Need to make this my default somehow. Okay, so here's my header file. Boom. Now I select the footer file, same way. And it won't let me default. Just the box stayed the same, but I have to resize all over again. What am I doing here? Oh yeah, I want to select the footer file here. Bang, that's in. Now the color themes, and sometimes you got to go back and retest this all. I want something that'll contrast a little bit. This is the background. No, this is the foreground or background. This is the foreground. So actually I want this dark. It's basically black. And usually I don't go black just out of variety, but I'm going to have a hard time making this. So I got so many colors and so much contrast. It's kind of good to use a low contrast image, then you can get this right better. And sometimes I have to come back and edit these themes after I've done them and used them, because this is kind of deceiving. These come up as the tabs too, and most of your tabs are like half, you know, they're transparent. So the effect is kind of harder to see, you know, because it's not this density, it's more transparent than this for most of your tabs across the bottom of the screen. The other thing in composition I didn't mention, or I sort of did, but the thing you really got to focus on is this part here of the image. This is what people are going to see 90% of the time, is this top part here. Most of this is going to be cut off unless they got a really wide screen. And down here you're going to have tabs, and maybe even, I don't know if helper bars cut into there or not. So I'm going to stay pretty much white and pretty much black. I'm going to go a little bit yellowish though, I think. I'm going to go real bright. Yeah, something like that. Contrast a little bit against my other screen colors. There really isn't any yellow in that screen. It's still kind of a nature color. So let's try that. Yeah. And that's about it. I'm going to start filling these in. But you basically get the gist of it. What it takes to make and submit. And now they're going to edit it and review it, and they'll probably accept this one. If I do anything at all, like stretching it or using it in alternate colors, they reject it. I did one in, I kind of liked in alternate colors because it kind of made less contrast in colors and brightness. And then the tabs would have been real nice and visible over it. But they rejected it. I guess. I didn't get a reject notice on it. Maybe I'll resubmit it just for the hell of it. I'll submit it as abstract or something so they have to look at it. I think if you do something's a photograph, they just, I don't know. I think they might automatically shift through them with a computer that can detect poor image quality and reject it out of hand before they even have to have a human look at it. By the way, I have, well, here I got 5 themes. I submitted a couple that rejected. I've got some more in the can to upload, actually, in the same vein as these. So search for my profile name if you want to see them, if you're a FireFox user. Anton M. Antonum.